back at it again, and today's topic of discussion is socialism. And every time I get a chance to touch on socialism, I will, because I feel like it is a very important topic of discussion. Why? Because that's where the left wants to lead us to. And folks like me, and a lot of folks such as yourselves, know the dangers of socialism. But there are a great number of people in this country who don't, or believe that, oh, because we're Americans, it's going to be different. So if I can change the mind of even one person every time that I touch on this topic, I believe it is worth it, because that one person can go change the mind of one other person, and that one other person can go change the minds of two other people, and so forth and so forth. So if you guys have any other videos on the topic of socialism, definitely send them my way, because I want to check them all out. All right, because the indoctrination in these schools are teaching these kids the exact opposite, and we've checked out videos of such. But before we get into this one, make sure you guys hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed to the channel already, hit that subscribe button down below and join the family. All right, join the family. What are you waiting on? Hit the subscribe button, and also make sure you hit that bell button next to it so you are notified when these videos drop. All right. And make sure you're following me on social media. All of those links are down below in the description box: Instagram, Twitter, Truth Social, Discord server. Make sure you join the Discord server. It's basically just a glorified chat room. All of those links are down below in the description box. All right. And please be aware, there is still a scammer in my comment section. Do not be scammed. Do not get scammed. The only two ways to support the channel, right, is via my PayPal, which I need to get rid of. I know. Forget PayPal. But then also there's something called a super thanks that you can send, straight through this YouTube platform. Those are the only two ways that you can support the channel. Anybody asking you to send them money via WhatsApp, even if they have my profile picture and possibly my profile name, if it says Doc Rich, don't send any money via WhatsApp or any other services. All right. It is a scammer. And I know it's frustrating that this stuff is even still going on. So please be aware. Do not be scammed. And if you see someone, hey, telegram me or anything like that that looks like me, it is not me. All right. Or drops a random phone number. It is not me. OK, so please be aware of that. But anyway, I know I've talked a lot. Let's dive in.
I saw a quote from Bono, of all people, that I read yesterday. See if you can find this, where he was talking about it when he was young. He thought that the world's problems could be solved by a redistribution of wealth, but now he realizes that healthy commerce is the way to a better society.
Yeah, look, socialism doesn't work. There's every cliche in the world. It works great till you run out of other people's money. All of those quotes. It doesn't work, and I've encountered those people in debates that think it does. I've had people in the focus group situation that say they shouldn't be prosecuting shoplifting because they're just going in there and taking what's rightfully theirs. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? They said, well, these corporations aren't paying enough. They're not paying a living wage, so they're just going in and taking what's rightfully theirs. And I'm saying, well, so, okay, if you're wanting equal outcome. No, I'm just wanting equal opportunity. No, you're wanting equal outcome because you're saying everybody should just help themselves so they all can live. What if one person spent 15 years going to college and working their butt off to acquire what I call consequential knowledge, and the other person was sitting home in a beanbag eating Cheetos for 15 years? You think they should have the same outcome? Well, yeah, that's a right. Everybody has a right to a reasonable life. Well, go read The Little Red Hen. I mean, did they not?
Yeah, these folks are crazy out here in these streets. Crazy. Everybody has the right. And we've seen some of those videos of people just running into stores and store workers and even security just standing there just watching. Have a good day. What? Call the cops. Lock the doors. right? Because I've seen that happen too. I believe it was a gas station video. A guy like tried to rob a gas station, but the gas station owner like locked the doors. So when they get no, it wasn't even that. It was like a mom and pop shop or something. And the chick ran out of the front door and locked the door behind her, and the guy was just stuck in there, crying, "Oh, please help me! Please help me!" It was the funniest thing ever. So yeah, lock him in there, right? Call the police, have him arrested. Well, in some places like New York, it's pointless to even have people arrested at this point because they'll just be right back out terrorizing the community once again, unfortunately. But we got to stop this mess, man. We got to stop it.
Go over that in grade school?
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that one? That's a good book. I'll send you a copy.
What was the premise of the Little Red Hen?
Well, she was going around saying, "Hey, help me harvest the grain, will you?" And the grasshopper said, "I'm just basking in the sun here." And she goes to the next animal, "Help me with this." "No, hey, I'm busy right now." Then it comes wintertime, and they all kind of want to come eat the bread. And so, well, you didn't help when it was time to get the grain in, but now you want to eat the bread. And so, sorry, I didn't get enough in to feed you all because you never helped. And so they're all out there freezing to death, and it just doesn't work that way. You got to pitch in if you want to be there when it's time to chow down. And people don't understand it doesn't work if you don't contribute. It doesn't work.
And the scary thing is this idea that people have that the government should provide for them and that they deserve it. It just reinforces this, and it just compounds it.
Even I've worked a lot in rehab, and I don't mean drug rehab. I'm talking about whatever it is. If you have a head injury, if you have someone that's injured on the job and they're having to re-educate their body, spinal injury or whatever, if you don't require that person to do everything they can do every single time they face a task, you're cheating them because they'll never get to the next level. I mean, if a paraplegic takes 11 minutes to get across a room to flip a light switch and you don't require them to do that, then they'll never do it in 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 6 minutes, and then where they can actually do it. Now, if they can't do it, they can't do it. But you need to require them to do everything they can do for themselves before you help them to do it. And we should always help them to do it, but you should let them do as much as they can do. And that's
Absolutely. And to a certain extent, I understand exactly what he's talking about through experience, right? Not with, rehab and stuff, but just from working out in the gym, right? If I'm your gym partner and I'm spotting you, I'm just there to help you if you need it, that's exactly what I'm going to do. For example, anybody that lifts, for example, for all my lifters or people that work out, for example, bench pressing, right? Where you're bench pressing. You're pressing the bar up, doing this, and you get to that struggle point, and you're like, I'm going to let you fight. A lot of people will just instantly grab the bar, pull it up, and rack it. No, I'm going to let you fight. Shaking, doing all that sort of thing. I will not touch the bar until I see the bar start dropping back down, because anybody that lifts knows once you hit that point where the bar starts falling back down while you're fighting against it, there's no way you're going to lift it back up. That is the only time I will touch it. I will make you go to the extreme limit of your abilities before I step in and help. So I definitely agree, because that's how you get better. That's how you get stronger, pushing yourself to the limit. Definitely agree with that, 100%.
The same way with everybody in the world. They should do everything they're able to do.
Facts.
And if we have people on the government dole that aren't doing everything they can do to help themselves, whether they're among the homeless population or the drug population or the mentally ill population, whatever, I'm totally understanding that you help people,
Right.
but you give them a hand up, not a hand out. There's a big difference. And we're just not doing that.
Ooh, talk to me nice.
You've got to require people to do everything they can do to help themselves. So they, again, observe themselves doing more and more, and they have pride in what they achieve and what they accomplish. And we've gotten away from that. We're not doing that.
Ooh, yeah. But a lot of folks would call me and Dr. Phil a mean and nasty. We're not compassionate. We don't truly care about folks. Guarantee it. Especially everybody on the left. Especially everyone on the left. Oh, you're mean, you're nasty, you're terrible, you're a horrible human being. How could you let them sit out there and suffer? Well, because they don't even want to help themselves. That's how I can let them sit out there and suffer. That's why I can just sit by and just say, oh well. Because they don't even want to help themselves. I'll give you a hand up, but I won't give you a hand out. If you want to get up off the ground, you at least got to get up on your knees. Right? Like, I'm not going to do the whole process for you. You at least got to do something. You're going to have to struggle to your knees or something. Then I might help you stand up on your feet. Or I might require you to stand all the way up. I might help you, stay balanced once you do stand up or something. Right? But leftists today, oh man, no, you got to pick this person up off of the ground and stay there and help them stand. You know what I mean? It's just like, we would have a much better and more productive society if we lived by exactly what Dr. Phil just said, in my humble opinion. Will there be some tragedies? Yep. Sure will be. There's tragedies now, though. So, I feel like, what's the difference? Right? People that don't want to help themselves, they'll fall by the wayside, and we know what happens then. But then there will be a lot of people who realize, okay, I got to suit up and lace my boots up. I got to get to work if I want to do something with my life. Let me go ahead and do that. How do y'all feel? Let me know in the comment section. He's talking some great stuff, in my humble opinion.
It seems like, especially when you're talking about like the homeless population, you would need so many people to work with those people, because you're talking about a psychological shift, a way of viewing the world with discipline and accountability that you're not going to just get people to adopt on their own. Very few people will. Most people will do the very least that they have to do. And if there's programs and different ways they can acquire money and food, they'll just stay in whatever state they're at. I was watching this video today of a guy who's in Hollywood who built a house on the street. He built a small house, and they were.
I've seen that video. He literally built a house on the sidewalk. It looks like a small shed, literally just on the sidewalk in Hollywood. Legit. It's crazy.
Talking to all the people in the neighborhood about it, and they had the cops come and visit him, and they offered to take him to a shelter, and he's like, no, I don't want to go. Yep. And they go, okay, and they just leave him there. So this guy's built a structure on wheels. It's like a small shed, but a wooden house, because he said that every time he had a tent, they took the tent away.
Yeah.
So he just built a house.
Well, that's pretty industrious.
Yeah, but why can't he apply that to other things, right?
Exactly, and he can.
But he needs coaching.
And I don't care how flat you make a pancake, it's got two sides. And the side where he says, I don't want to go to a shelter. If you go to a shelter, what do you do with all your stuff? Because there's nowhere inside that shelter to take all of your stuff. And he has things. And he might have an animal. And that animal he's attached to, and you can't take that animal in the shelter. And you can't take your things in the shelter. And if you can't take your animal and your things in the shelter, they're not going to go. And if they leave their things on the street, they'll be gone when they come out the next morning. So a shelter's not always the answer. So you got to have empathy for those people. And he may be trying to do the best he can, but you got to create alternatives where he says, okay, look, if he's industrious enough that he's built a house on wheels and they're pirating electrical, some of them from service poles.
Yeah.
Some of them have 10-man tents and they've got flower beds in front of them.
Yeah, this guy had plants hanging out in front of his house.
Yep. I was going to say, Dr. Phil sounds like he watched the exact same video of the guy, because the guy was stealing power. He had like a whole extension cable going off somewhere, connecting to some power, and literally had plants out in front of his little sidewalk house. It's crazy.
That's pretty industrious. Now, if that guy's got that much initiative, and he could use that in other ways, find him a place where he can do that,
But does he want to, is the real question.
where he can not be obstructing traffic, not be in front of somebody's business, be in an area where he can build that house, and then maybe he can inspire somebody else to do the same thing, and then he can maybe, it starts to snowball. You work with what you have. I'm not saying these people can start running their own business tomorrow, but build on what you have.
So, there's quite a number of things to take away from that video there. I mean, I know it was a shorter video, but there's quite a lot. If you want to talk about the story that he spoke of, the hen story, right? If you don't bring anything to the table, you don't eat. But then also, when you look at the other side of it, a lot of these folks, because at the beginning they were talking about people running into stores and taking what's rightfully theirs, right? So if those animals had run into the hen's house and taken everything that they wanted, everybody would have starved. Every single one of them. Because the hen took enough just for the hen. So if everybody came in and took everything, then everybody starves, because you can't have one person doing all the work while everybody's trying to eat. Like it mathematically, that just doesn't work out, which is why the hen didn't let them in the first place, right? But people in today's society expect the hen to do all the work while they all get to eat. And it doesn't work out that way, which is why socialism doesn't work. But then, when you want to talk about the homeless situation, right? And he kind of touched on this. Compassion isn't just giving people handouts all the time. It isn't just, oh, well, here you go, take this, take that, take this, take that. It's also letting folks know the reality of the situation. I feel like that's compassion. You're telling them the truth. The truth of the matter is you have to suit up and lace your boots up. What you put into life is what you get out of it. You reap what you sow, and that's important, and that's compassionate. I feel like it's a terrible thing that these leftists are doing to some of these folks and just lying to them. Oh yeah, it'll be fine. The government's gonna always take care of you. Blah blah blah. Everything's gonna be peachy. That's a lie. That is a lie. Oh, it's fine if you sit at home and play video games. Life will be great. That's bogus. It's absolutely bogus. But of course, leftists would call me and someone like Dr. Phil horrible people. Horrible people. You don't want to give these guys and gals handouts whenever they need them, however they need them. You're a horrible person. No, we don't want to give handouts. We want to give a hand up. You're going to have to put in the effort to make your life better before I step in and try to help. I need to see you doing something, right? Hey, I'll buy you, a suit and some clean clothes and pay for, you to stay in a hotel for a week, but you have to go to McDonald's and do the job interview, and that sort of thing, and make sure that you get the job. And once you do, continue to pay for, your hotel stay or whatever. Like, I feel like stuff like that would be like a hand up. Obviously, that was just off the top of the head. I haven't gotten deep into it. You know what I mean? But I feel like that would be more of a hand up. Like, hey, I can do this for you, and this is your option in order to keep this going. Or you could just go back to your old situation. But after this, I'm not helping you anymore. And you could just fall by the wayside. And as a matter of fact, the house that you built on the sidewalk, when you go to this hotel, I'm going to make sure all of your belongings are there in the hotel with you. But the house is gone. So you're not going back to that, and you're not building it back on the sidewalk. So the choice is yours. What do you want to do? McDonald's is going to hire you. And right now they're paying even more. Right? So it's not even bare minimum wage anymore. So you're going to get a decent salary. Right? I feel like that's a hand up. But no, of course, leftists will be like, no, you shouldn't force them to work. You shouldn't force them to do this and do that. We'll just pay for whatever it is that they want. I don't know. These folks are crazy. Or do y'all agree? Maybe I'm wrong in this equation. I don't know. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.